In Revelation 18, we're talking about the rich men of the earth and all their commerce and how they do things. And it's interesting that in the time that Satan ruled, it was through the abundance of his commerce that he corrupted himself, right? And here we are again in mankind, and we're talking about the rich men of the earth becoming rich with the wealth of Babylon's excessive luxury and wantonness. In the next verse, he said, "Come out from her, my people, so that you might not share in her sins, neither participate in her plagues." He said, don't participate in it. In Revelation chapter 6, we have the 4 horses, right? And the first one is a white horse. In verse 2, he says, "I looked and saw there was a white horse whose rider carried a bow, and a crown was given him, and he rode forth conquering and to conquer." Well, if you look up in the Strong's Concordance, now this is interesting. Remember, we just looked up pharmakia, if you watched the other video, but in Strong's Concordance, it'll tell you the definitions, the Greek definitions of that word bow. Okay? If you look it up, you'll find out that it's not a bow, like bow and arrow. The word is toxon. That's the Greek word, and it means the simplest fabric. Okay? And with the simplest fabric, he rode forth conquering and to conquer. And it's a white horse, like a lab jacket, maybe. Okay? And the simplest fabric would be, if you look up that word in just a dictionary, Webster's dictionary, it means a structure. Fabric means a structure. And this is the simplest structure. Well, think about that. A white horse, he's got the technology to monkey with the simplest structure, like DNA structure. See that? And so, he uses that, and he rides forth conquering and to conquer. And then when you get down here, there was another horse came out flaming red, and its rider was empowered to take peace from the earth, so that men slaughtered one another. And he was given a huge sword. Well, we always thought, well, okay, that's nuclear bombs or something along those lines. But if you take it in context of where these 4 horses are going, these are the first 2, you have this DNA structure manipulation, like DNA, RNA, and it's changing the DNA by what they're giving you to overcome this thing that's been going around the earth for the last 2 years, right? And messing up all the economies. And I would submit to you that it's a huge sword. Well, Jesus said, "I'll come and fight with you with the sword of my mouth." Or in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12, he says, the word that God speaks is alive and full of power, sharper than any two-edged sword. It's words. See, it's words. I mean, you go out there and, well, I'm for it. Well, I'm against it. And next thing you know, they're fighting. They're slaughtering one another. Okay? And this is what we're up against. When he's saying in Revelation 18, don't share in her plagues, don't fall for the propaganda. That's what he's telling you. What did he tell you there at the end of Revelation 18? Through their pharmakia, right, the rich men of the earth are seducing, deceiving all the inhabitants of the earth. All through the pharmakia. And the red horse is the propaganda that goes with it. And he says, come out from that, my people. Don't be deceived by it. It's deception.